Hey y'all, it's Christian again, back with another review for you guys. This time we're going to be looking at Architects Holy Hell. Now, I don't know too much about this band, I will admit. This was my first album by them. I heard their single Doomsday when it came out that came out last year, but I heard it this year. From what I know about the band, the especially this album is about Tom, the original guitarist who died of cancer. So rest in peace to Tom. I know that the lyrics were written all by his brother, the drummer Dan. So props to him for taking that role and to be able to push not only him but the entire band to be able to keep going after something so traumatic and to have to deal with the loss of a member. I know that's hard for every single band, even if it's not due to something as extreme as dying of cancer. But anytime a band loses a member, it's like you're losing a family member. It's like you're losing a critical part of that band, even if that person was not a main songwriter, but which in this case Tom was. From what I know, he was the main songwriter for Architects. So to be able to lose that and to keep going and to come back with an album as strong as what I think this one is. I don't think it's perfect, but it's definitely strong. So props to them for doing that. After listening to it, I can definitely say there's some pros and there's some cons to the albums. Overall, I enjoyed the album. I did. I'm not a huge metalcore fan. It's never been my main genre of metal that I like. I am a metalhead. I like a lot of different metal, from black metals to thrash to death. Well, I do like metalcore. It's not been my main genre, but from listening to this album, I did enjoy it. I definitely thought it was a good metalcore record, so I'll give it that. One thing I absolutely love about this record is the riffs. I mean, these riffs are heavy. I'm a guitarist, so I looked at the tabs for some of these songs. I mean, these guys are drop F sharp and things like that. These songs are heavy. These guitars are heavy. The riffs are heavy. The breakdowns are heavy. It's just, you can feel just the pressure from the guitars, and the way it was produced is incredible, and that shows there. It's just the anger and the pain and the frustration to deal with someone's death like that. So I absolutely thought that was a brilliant part on their end. Like I said, the riffs are extremely heavy. There's a great vocal. I can't praise the vocals enough. From his vocal ability, I think Carter is his name, to be able to push and at the same time to scream with melody in there. That's what I like a lot. I personally love melody. You can scream all you want, but if there's not melody, it just doesn't connect with me. And with Architects, I did enjoy the fact that he's growling and screaming with so much energy, but at the same time there's melody to it, especially with the guitars as well. A lot of these riffs are heavy, but in the background you can hear these beautiful riffs, these arpeggios playing over the chords, especially during the choruses. The riffs are great, so for that I absolutely praise them. Again, to be able to, and again, this is not the main songwriter who's the guitarist. They got somebody else, so double props to them to be able to think of these riffs, even without their main songwriter guitarist. So again, I'm praising the vocals. I think were amazing. The melody in the vocals and the guitars, and just the riffs overall were extremely heavy. What I did not like about the album is at some points the songs felt so similar. It just felt like it was the same kind of vibe to them, and that's my biggest problem with metalcore. Sometimes it can feel like it's just so much energy, so much power, so much gain, so much riffage that it starts to drag. It felt like a few of the songs, not all of them, they felt so similar. It was the same kind of rhythmic pattern, same beat, drops, same breakdowns. And for me, I like variety in songs, and there is variety in this album, don't get me wrong. It's just at times it felt like it was the same kind of idea over and over and over again. Again, it was only for a few songs, and what I also didn't like is a lot of these songs were just structured in the same way. It would start out with this like slow build or some kind of synthy strings or whatever, and then it would just come crashing in, which is fine, which is great. But then every song, it felt like it would go into this middle section of just this quiet part, whatever. And it was like, okay, the first few times were fine, but then I started to see it more and more with most of the songs, and that's the only thing. It's just like I wish there was more variety. Like, again, I don't know Architects too well. This is just my first experience with them, but I wish there was more guitar solos. I wish there was just a little more change in there. Not to say that what was shown was bad. I just wish there was a little more change in there. Now, for my 3 personal song recommendations for the album, absolutely would have to say Doomsday. It was the first song I heard from them that came out last year. That's by far my favorite song on the album. Now, I might be criticized for, you're looking only at the singles, blah, blah, blah. That's what I like. It's a good song. I enjoy the melody in that. I like that song, It's definitely my favorite song on the album, followed by Hereafter. I just love the vocals on that. And A Wasted Hymn, I thought the song itself was structured well. The instrumentals on it were good. And it just flows well because it's a good atmospheric sound to it. So if you're going to check out this album and you don't have much time, my 3 song recommendations again are Doomsday, Hereafter, and A Wasted Hymn. So check those out. But I would rank this album, it's a good album, I'll give it an 8 out of 10. Again, this is Holy Hell by Architects. Rest in peace, Tom.